What's good people, and welcome to episode 19 of It's Just Not Adding Up. And again 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 and again. I'm OBO, and over the years I've noticed gay is a scary word for a lot of people, which is wild because it's just gay. But don't worry, I've decided to be your gay coach. Everyone's talking about equality and love, but I don't know. It's just not adding up. So hopefully you've seen episode 1. If not, I'll put it somewhere up here. And episode 1 talked about coming out and my opinions on it, so I won't reiterate. Let's talk about the concept of coming out, right? Coming out is, I guess what it's supposed to be is this declaration of your queerness, right? Like, I am gay, I'm a lesbian, I'm bi, whatever you are that's not straight. Here guys, this is who I am, right? The issue is, or the flaw in the script is, it's not a one-time thing. What? Coming out is a continuous thing when you're walking in your full truth, and it's usually with language. When using pronouns like he and him, when talking about past experiences, when saying things like partner, that usually is indicative of you not being straight, or just all those things, it then signifies to the people around you that you could possibly be gay. Here's the part that I really want to capitalize on in this video: boundaries. I think sometimes because we feel like the world may not understand and it took us a while to get to where we are and all these things, that we have to give what we're calling grace to others, right? And I think sometimes that grace is permission to be invasive, and that's not fair.
Yeah. Hey.
Because you found out someone is queer does not give you license to then ask them a series of questions that are inappropriate, to then get all up in their business and all up in their private affairs. Nor does it deem the person who is queer to then have to answer these questions, to have to respond, or feel bad about setting a boundary.
Period.
Just because someone knows you're gay does not give them an all access pass. Trust me, you can maintain your privacy. Now, I will contend that I don't think your orientation is a private affair. I still think that's a byproduct of shame. You guys can debate me. But I do think you can definitely maintain privacy while being quote unquote out. Just because you know my orientation does not mean you need to know who I'm dating, that I'm dating, sexual position, any of those things. I don't owe you any of those things. I don't owe you anything ever. You don't get those things just because you know I'm gay. That's not how this works. I can still maintain privacy. You can still maintain privacy. It's a real thing. Even with all that being said, I don't want you to get exhausted in being your full self. There's been moments where I have felt like I don't want to assume the burden of my queerness in certain spaces. It wasn't rooted in shame. It wasn't rooted in self-hate. It was simply, I didn't want to be asked questions. I didn't want to be, the spokesperson for all things queer, right? But at the same time, it then made me take a break from being my full self. I was now being conscious of speech. I was now being conscious of pronouns in a way that I hadn't been in a while, due to me coming into my full self, all because I didn't understand what setting boundaries looked like.
Excuse me? Okay.
So how do you set these boundaries? A good way is to lead with questions. Someone asks you something that's invasive, ask them, what was the reason?
What was the reason?
What is the point in the question? What makes you want to ask me that question? Those kinds of questions then gives them the opportunity to check themselves, right? And think like, wait a minute, is this appropriate? Or why do I need to know this? Another thing about questions for me that made it uncomfortable was I felt like I had to speak on behalf of all gay people. Even those viewing my channel, there may be things you don't agree with, and that's okay. Let's get some dialogue started. But you don't have to speak on behalf of all queer people when responding to individual questions. And I felt that way for a while. If you decide to answer a question, great, answer that question, but don't think you have to hold the entire queer community on your shoulders every time you answer a question. You're answering from your experience, and that is valid enough. I mean, if you want to keep it gangster, you can always say mind your business, though. I won't fault you.
I get active, little mama. He should have told you about me. I get active, little baby, ma'am.
So all in all, don't let anybody get you back into a closet. Be your full self. In being your full self, you can definitely set boundaries respectfully or gangster. And keep creating space. I'll see you guys at episode 20. Peace.